Next up, Coach Jake.
Thanks, Colin. We've got a good team coming in here on Wednesday. Toledo's got 8 of their 9 players back from last year's team that won, I believe they won 19 games a year ago. They played in one of the postseason tournaments and I believe they won their first round game. So they've got an experienced team. Their leading scorer and rebounder is back. He averaged about 16 points, 8 rebounds a game. Their entire backcourt is back. Then they've added a freshman center that has started for them this year. So in addition to the eight guys that are back, they've added a new starter to their team with their center. So an experienced team. Their head coach has been around for a long time. Coached at a number of different places as an assistant coach and was a head coach at Wisconsin Green Bay and has now been at Toledo for this is either his 3rd or 4th year now at Toledo, and he's had a lot of success. Very good coach. So a team that is going to play hard, do a lot of things well, and will certainly be our biggest challenge to date, with it being our first Division I game. So we're looking forward to practice today and getting after a couple things and seeing a good opponent on Wednesday night. With that, I would take any questions.
What did you learn about your team on Saturday with that game with Wartburg?
You know, we did some things a little bit better again. You know, I think that's the thing that I've liked the most is that we've improved a little bit in some key areas each of the last 2 weeks. You know, in between the games that we've played, and we were able to do that again. Still stood around a little bit too much defensively. We talked about that during the course of the game. We'll see that on film today. We'll practice that again. So you know, still some things defensively that we've got to get quite a bit better at. I thought we moved around pretty well on offense. I thought the guys did a good job of sharing the basketball. Then obviously guys were in pretty good rhythm and you know, rose up and knocked in some shots, and that's always good to see. And I think you know that's mostly a result of guys being prepared. You know, we've got a group right now that spends a lot of time in the gym. You know, they're in there before, after practice, during the course of the day. I know a couple guys were in last night getting some shots up, and I think that showed up, you know, on Saturday. That guys are prepared.
So what can you tell us about North Dakota?
Well, I know a little bit about them, Carson, because we played them 2 years ago, and a lot of their guys are still there. They were real young 2 years ago, so they've got an experience. For the most part, an experienced team. I think 4 of their 5 starters are back. I have not watched them at all yet, but I do know they've got an experienced team. I do know that they feel this will be the best team they've had now since going to Division I. So they're excited about their team, and with 4 of their starters back, which includes all 3 of their guards. I think this is their 3rd year now. They started as freshmen. They all started last year as sophomores, and they're all together again as juniors. And so they've got the most experience that they've had. They've got some good players, and I know they're excited about their team and looking forward to having a really good year.
Sounds like a lot of depth from Toledo. That's probably going to test your depth even more so than the work.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, this of course is going to be the best team that we've seen, and not just the best team we've seen because it's our first Division I opponent, but they've got 8. As I said, they've got 8 of their 9 guys back, and they've added a new guy to their starting lineup, and so they'll play 8, 9, 10 guys, and those guys all have experience, good players, and so our depth will be tested. Yep.
Coach, even though you haven't really been tested yet, you're in your 2 exhibition games and then the game Saturday, you're only giving up 49 points per game in those 3 on average. Do you feel this might be one of your best defensive teams ever, what you've seen early on?
Too early to tell. You know, we have an opportunity to be a very good defensive team, and we've made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks. So we're, you know, the guys are doing the right things. You know, there's a couple of mistakes that are still popping up that things we've practiced and things we've talked about, and you know, and I talk about it quite a bit. Guarding the basketball, you know, making our rotations, getting our blockouts. You know, the details of our defense. we've still got continued work to do there. Some of that is planned, with just one regular season game in. Those improvements will continue to come as we play games. And I think it's normal. From a coaching standpoint, and I think from a player standpoint, you'd like it to happen faster than it does. But when you've got some experience, we've got a little more length, a little more size, and we've got an opportunity to have a deeper team. That's a good mix for having a very good defensive team. We're a long ways from being a great defensive team, but we've made progress the last 2 weeks. Continue to make some progress. I do think we have a chance to be a very good defensive team. Anybody else?
Marvin Singleton's numbers were really good. Has the light bulb kind of gone off for him now, or what did you see out of Marvin?
He had a nice game on Saturday. I think a result of what I mentioned about our team in general. He's worked really hard. He's put a lot of time in, and he's in every day to watch film. He's in every day to get extra shots up, and I think because of that, his three-point shot has improved. He's got confidence in what he's doing there now. Defensively, he continues to get better each week and more comfortable out on the perimeter. He's always been more comfortable around the basket, and we see that in rebounding right now. Even though he's playing at the small forward, he's still in there rebounding a lot. That's part of what he's done his entire playing career. And with continued practice, continued experience, he's going to get more comfortable handling and passing the basketball. And that's the area that he needs to continue to grow in, and he knows that, and he's working at it. That's the best thing about Marv. He understands right now that he and Max have both played well, and that both guys have earned some minutes on our team. He also understands that, in the obvious, he's not in the starting lineup. He's not the first guy off the bench, but it hasn't affected the way he's prepared. And I really like that about Marvin. He wants to be a part of a winning team, and he's willing to do what he can to help.
Some of the fans are making comparisons to Kajoa Heligba with Deion Mitchell. Are you seeing some things out of Deion that Kajoa brought to the team?
Oh, there's some things that would be similar. Deion doesn't have quite the size that Kajoa had, and I think that that impacts him defensively a little bit. They came from two very different high school systems. Kajoa, the system he played in high school was a lot like our system defensively, where they played man-to-man every day. They did a lot of the same drills. So Kajoa got here with a different base from a defensive standpoint. Deion's team pressed a lot, played in the open court a lot, just came from a different system. And so Deion has got, when he got here, he just had further to go defensively, because that isn't what his high school team did at the defensive end of the floor. So Deion's made a lot of progress defensively. He's working to continue to make progress. That's going to be an important part of our team, an important part of our development, and how good we become is where Deion gets to defensively. Offensively, they're both good in transition. They both use the ball screen. Kajoa probably shot a few more jump shots than Deion has to this point, and we'll see. I guess is the best answer. I don't like comparing our guys, but there are some there with those two guys.
Your shooting percentages were really good, except free. I won't go there.
If you're scared to ask, then I'm not going to answer.
10 of 17 from the free throw line. Any concern with that? I have to do it.
Yeah, I know you do. You got a radio show you got to do this afternoon. You need some stuff. I get it.
Say, Jake, how many guys do you anticipate signing here in November?
I don't know if I can answer that. Yeah, with NCAA doesn't allow us to comment on any specifics when it comes to the signing, and maybe answering that question wouldn't be a specific. That would break an NCAA rule, but my athletic director is here, and I don't want to break any rules with him present. So I'm going to decline from answering, not because I don't want to answer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but I don't know where that fits with the NCAA rule.
Okay.
Thanks. Anybody else? Thank you.